Hi, I'm Crystal, and this is your online lecture on setting up your company using the Computerised Accounts package. For this example, we're using Sage Instant Accounts. We're going to look at two things. First of all, the first time that you use Sage, how you set up your company initially. We're then going to have a look at when you subsequently use the Sage program and when you wish to rebuild your data from scratch so you can start a new company. So firstly, looking at setting up a company for the first time. Having installed Sage, you will then need to double click on the Sage Instance Accounts icon, which will be on your desktop, and this first screen will be displayed. Now you want to set up your company data, so select this option and then click OK. We're going to set up a new company, whereby we will enter in the details of the company, their address, their VAT registration number and the rates of VAT. So select Set Up a New Company and click Next. This will bring up this screen showing the company setup. You need to enter the company name and address in full. Very important that at this point you watch the accuracy of your entering of the name and address of the company. So pause this example and just enter into your Sage accounting program the information that you're given here for Brando Limited. And once you've done this, unpause and we'll move on to the next part. So having entered in your company details, the following screen should be displayed. Press Next and this will accept your company data. Now we need to choose the type of accounts structure that we're going to use within our Sage instance. Now for exam purposes, we're going to be using a general set of accounts. This determines our chart of accounts and the names that are used for different incomes and expenses that might be displayed. So for accounting purposes, for your Computerised Accounts exam, you're to choose General and then click Next. Now it's very important that we identify when our year end is. To do this with Sage, we choose the starting month for our company's financial year. Now for Brando Limited that we're using throughout your notes, we're going to have a year end of the 31st of December 2011. So we're going to start January 2011, so choose the month, type in the year and then click Next. We then need to identify whether we're VAT registered. For your assessment, you're going to be dealing with a VAT registered company. So Brando Limited is a VAT registered company. We'll choose Yes, enter in the VAT registration number, which for Brando Limited is 888 254 566, and the VAT scheme that we're using is standard VAT. Just watch in your exam as to whether it is standard VAT, which is our assumption if we're not told otherwise, but you could be dealing with a cash accounting scheme, in which case you'd choose that option. Our standard rate of VAT is at 20% for this assessment. So choose these options and then press Next. The next wizard setup screen is in relation to currency. We're operating in pounds sterling, so identify pounds sterling and click through to the next screen, which should have our all company details entered, and we can open our data. Once this company data is opened, then you should have a screen looking like this where we have Brando Limited showing at the top of the screen. And so far we have no other data entered, but we now have a company set up ready to start entering in information for. So that's what we'll enter if we have a new company that we're opening up for the first time. If you've already accessed Sage previously, when you double click on the Sage icon, you will open this screen which shows a welcome to Sage Instant Accounts, and you will choose to open your company's data, click OK, and this will bring up the same screen for you. If you're practicing assessments, you may have gone through, entered through the information for one company, and you're now ready to start on a new practice assessment, therefore start with a new company. You therefore need to clear down all of the current information that's in there, so you start with a fresh blank copy of Sage. To do this, you click on File and choose the option of Maintenance. Say yes to the warning, which will open up a screen with check data corrections, and it also has this option to rebuild. So we're going to rebuild our data. We're going to rebuild it back to scratch so we can start a new company again. Now this is an option which in practice, if you're working on a company's real data, you wouldn't ever be using this option, but for exam purposes, for practice, we will be. So we click on Rebuild and ensure that General Business Standard Accounts is highlighted, and we're going to remove the ticks from all of the boxes on the left-hand side of the screen and click OK. Warning is given to confirm that we want to rebuild our data files, obviously something which we do with extreme caution. So click yes, and it will clear down the chart of accounts to 0. It will remove any information that you'd previously put in, and then we can choose our year start month. So I'm just going to put in January 2011 again. Click OK, confirming our financial year is going to start January 2011, and we've successfully rebuilt our data files. We can just check that everything has been cleared off the chart of accounts. This is something which you should always do before starting your actual assessment for computerised accounts. So when you go to take your assessment, open up Sage. This should be the first thing that you should do. Click on Company and just check that in the debit and credit there are no numbers showing on the chart of accounts. This tells us that there's no information that's previously been entered into this Sage. Now you may have to change the company details. If we need to change the company details, we can do this through Settings. So if we click on Settings, Company Preferences, again, yes to the warning. This allows us to change the company name, company address details, leave telephone, fax, email, and everything blank. We can change the VAT. You just want to ensure that you've got the standard VAT shown here, the correct VAT registration number, and then we can click OK. So if you're starting a new company, you need to change the company details. You do it through the company preferences. So you're ready to start entering data for your company, which will be done through the next chapters.